Hello, legends! How are we doing today? Hope you can hear and see me wherever you're tuning in here today, either on X or on YouTube. Just let me know. Anywhere in the chat would be epic. I think sound should be good and you should be able to see. But if I can get some good confirmation first, we will dive right into Bitcoin and see what is happening here today in the markets. So really crazy drop here yesterday. Liquidation events left and right. I think a lot of people got scared and stopped out. We also saw that live and we had some really nice sounds about it. So really nice action going on there. And let me quickly check how we are. Gary and Para, everything good. Very nice. YouTube is good. So let me dive right into this here. We'll go over some Bitcoin higher time frame and then lower time frame. Yeah, TA, and then we will see what is in store for us here locally for sure. Getting some aggression here to the downside. We got a nice push on New York Open. I think also we will have some numbers to be released in a few minutes. And sometimes we get some aggression during those days and times, and sometimes not. So let's just see. If you can also hear the liquidation sounds here on the stream, let me know if it's too loud. I will pump those a little bit down. We can see here, for example, some big orders are coming in, so longs, and that's the beeps that you should hear on the streams. I will bump it a little bit down, maybe it's a bit too loud. So hello Kelechi, wonderful that everyone is here. So far, what was the plan here today? Bitcoin, basically we pulled an anchored VWAP from the low. We got into it and I told everyone inside the academy that this is a long zone. From here we got what I think, what, 2%. So far it looks like very little, but still got a nice push. We also had some other reason here that we wanted to see, and that was basically this high here from yesterday and the anchored VWAP from there. You can see how the bands are holding us up really smooth, how we can, you gotta love this now, how you can move them, and you can see the respect here very well. We did this with the 786 extension. Oh no, it's 186, so let's switch that to 1.786. You know that I prefer those, and you can see we get some better respect on the bands here. And then this was the moment. I also notified everyone inside the Discord here, so everyone got some nice insights on those trades live in time. And you see also that there was quite some nice action from Netso also with some trades that we got. So always nice to see it. So basically here coming back into it, nice alert, and then we got some nice aggression. So let's see what is happening here together. Let me quickly check if everyone is still good. Here we go. Yeah, very nice. If you have any questions, drop them anytime. I'll be here for a while, and let's see if we can catch something live together. Maybe we get a nice retracement. Overall, you know, my higher time frame view here, let's zoom out a little bit just to understand where we are. We have been merging those TPO profiles here very smoothly over the last few weeks already inside the academy, and you can see here those two profiles here were left basically. And now as we've come back down into this region here, like we've longed this moves here twice, came back into it, got another bounce from it, and then eventually lost this upper range here. And now we are back in this previous range. So if we basically merge those back together, we can see that we still have not reclaimed the crucial value area low here. So really important for us to do, really important that we get this reclaim here for further upside. So how would I like to see that here on the higher time frame, for example? All eyes on if we reject here or if we break up and then backtest it. That would be the bullish scenario. So far, also from a market structure perspective, you know, if you look at it like this here, up, down again, what happens next? Do we get a higher low? or not, or a high, it is to be seen. But what we can see here is very clearly that we have some resistance here with this last low and also the value area low from this whole range. And it is quite a long range, nearly the whole year that we've had so far. So there's quite some action going in there. And crucially here for me to see what happens. And so this is definitely our most important level. I think right now we are about 104.150, so we will mark that one out. So really important here on Bitcoin to reclaim. So 104.150 region here, and we can already see here that we also got our trade that we discussed inside the academy on the higher time frame. What was it, on Monday? No, last Monday. I think it was last Monday where I went over higher time frame levels. We got this discrepancy here on the wicks that everyone was waiting for, and we didn't stop there. So overnight, if we go into the lower time frame, we can see that we stopped around the wick level and then eventually broke down further and then put in a double low here. So equal, similar lows here at the last drop below 100K, everyone getting really excited. And we also got, some decent amount of shorts in it. And overall are still pumping from those. So let's see what else we can find here on the charts and what else we can keep looking at. So this one here, still monitoring on the lower time frame. Eventually, if we get back here during the stream, we could consider another scalp long. Definitely not longing up here because overall, what did we do? 4% move here from the low and then another 2% from our anchor. So definitely need to see something first. The interesting thing here to see always is where are we going? Is price just trending up from here? Are we breaking through everyone? Are we not allowing anyone to catch this trade? And that would be the interesting part because we have a lot of liquidations. We have a lot of nice levels to the upside. Let's quickly have a look here at our liquidation heat map. Really interesting also because this topic was covered today in the academy by Krolik. So if you want to check out the video, come over to the Discord. It is still free for a few more days before we shut it down, but really nice insights here on our liquidation heat maps and how they work on the lower time frame and on the higher time frame. So quickly jump out here. Let's jump into the higher time frame and then we will be looking at lower leverages because most of the time, you start, how does it work? You long here with 5x, you long here with 10x, you long here again with 5x. You don't long here with 100x, you will be stopped out right away. But all the other people that have lower leverage here on the higher time frame will have their stop loss below this low. And then if this is the next low, for example, and they start longing and they start thinking, shit, this is the next bull market that is starting, our stop loss will be below the low. And then you see here how well we've cleared up those liquidations. So really important here. You can see we came into it, we got a nice bounce here a little bit, and then cascaded through, cleared out the majority of them. And then for sure, while we come in the level, there is new liquidations being built here below the low. You can see it started right here. There is something beeping, a few longs coming in here. And the most interesting thing for me on the higher time frame is, if we are still getting one revisit of those lows, the best trade would be in this low area here. So there's not many liquidations happening here. There would still be a few here, but the best area is always where we don't have any liquidations coming in. So if on the higher time frame, for example, we would get another push and then drop again down here, I would still love to see 96K. Why 96K? It is a huge support level overall, and there is also a lot of interesting stuff happening. I will show it right away. Do you think the bottom is in, or is it too early to say? Para, LO, HFG. I think we got a nice reaction so far, and if you manage to get in on the low, I would definitely put your stop loss in and lock it. Safe trade here. Why risk anything? We did not reclaim anything yet. As mentioned here earlier on the value area low, for example, of this whole upper range, we did not reclaim anything. So not a safe trade yet on the higher time frame. And if we come back here to the liquidations, we can see that there is still liquidations to the downside to be had. We could still get one more cascade and fill all those. And then we were also discussing the higher time frame TPO chart. So let me quickly try to merge those here, basically the upper range and then the lower range here with all the previous data that we had. And then you will also see that if we look at the TPO chart, that we still have some point of control here around 96K. So this is, yeah, we can also include it for now. It doesn't matter. We're looking at this previous one and this upper one here. And you can also see here now on MMT, we got the TPO charts natively. So you can switch here between candlesticks, footprint clusters, or native support on TPO charts. And it is super smooth. I really love it. Like the whole thing, you know, expanding it and zooming into it and then zooming back. But you can also see here already, yeah, I'm not sure. I would still love one other sweep on the higher time frame here. 96K would be a really juicy area. For sure, it is a dream area because at the end, if we look at it like this, you know, liquidations, there are not many. So we could just get a wick into it, get to 96 and then bounce from there. For sure, there is lots of liquidations below, but this is then another area, you know, like if we clear this one all out, for sure, our next area will be around 85. But let's not go there yet. We got a nice bounce going. We got an equal low. That is the only thing that takes me a little bit off. And if we look at it, you see it also here again, you know, it is for sure a low that could hold for a bit here, but we still need to see how it goes here. So the crucial thing for me is if we come back to 96K, I will definitely look for long trades. Yeah, HFG retest. What would you like to retest? Liquidation added with the bounce also, so we might get them. Yes, Jam, awesome. Glad to have everyone here. Would be epic. Yeah, really like to see another sweep. So this liquidity for sure, keep it on there, but a trade inside this no liquidity zone would be the best area for the higher time frame. There's also one thing that is really interesting here on Bitcoin that we should not miss. So let's quickly come back to our charting template here and have a look here on the higher time frame, because this was the week now that we had discrepancies on all the different pairs. Some of them went to here, some of them went to here, some of them went only to here, and now we took it out. So we got a nice initial reaction. This was really good. We planned it out and we got a nice bounce. You know, 4.5% for a swing trade or for a day trade is not a bad reaction. So in any case, if you got in around the low or around the swing failure of it, I would always put your stop loss closer and then look at it, because, you know, double low, definitely something to consider. But if we come back here, we can also see if we zoom back here, there is still some liquidity left. So just looking at it here, we can see the juicy level here. Let me quickly give it some more color. And you can already see we can take this one. Oh no, we don't. Let me put it back. We put this one here around 1400. This was our value area low to be reclaimed of this upper range. So crucial. That would be epic. But yeah, so there's a few scenarios here on the higher time frame. This liquidity still to be taken if we zoom out. So you can see here, like, market structure is still potentially bullish, you know, and everyone is like, oh yeah, like, let's get it up here and let's see what happens. So the most important thing is if we get another squeeze here over the next few minutes, eventually we can get into a short around this value area low here. Would be a juicy one for a back test, and then take it down to lower levels. And what do I want to see? If we get up here, I would first of all check out here. We reclaimed our VWAP close, so that is pretty well so far. Let me check out how this last high we put in here is in terms of, yeah, not so much volume. Yesterday, you know, we were around 300, 200 million. delta and volume, quite some action. And also here, like if we zoom out here on our statistics here or delta volume, we can see that we did not get all too much of crazy spikes or all too much of bars that are pretty much colored. Here, for example, we got a spike, got a small retracement, and then we eventually broke out of it. And we're still above today's value area high. So still a little bit cautious here with shorting because we did not hit anything yet on the higher time frame. So let's collapse this, keep this point of control here around 96,420 handy. And for now, let's see what else do we have. So this is basically the only VWAP close that we had. I have also mentioned it to everyone inside Discord that I will not be shorting this here. So basically we were watching this one here, monitoring this one since the morning, and then I told you VWAP close is hit, but no short yet for me, and let's see if we reclaim it or get some bear diffs. And we did not get any bear diffs, we reclaimed it eventually, and here we are. Very nice to see how this played out. And you know, sometimes it's about the trades that you didn't take that make you a good trader. You need to know when to jump in and when not to. And this one definitely was not a short. We did not get any aggression. We did not get any positive delta, small retracement, and then through it eventually. And it still looks bullish, you know. Also, let's quickly have a look. Oh, if there's any questions. If MMT is lagging, then check our Discord. There will be someone around to help you. Should not happen. There is something else we can look at here earlier today. So really important, because we mentioned quickly, you know, what if we are getting a nice trending day and if we are not coming back for anyone here, you know, like just run it up a bit, get tons of longs in, get excited, maybe come a little bit inside the value area low, get more longs in, and then dump it again back to 96K. That would be superb. Would really, really love that. And the interesting thing there is, like, you know, if we are trending up here, for example, this was the first trend move that we did. And then we have this impulse and we can see we come back to the 382. We don't even back test it. We came into our anchor. That was well and sound, but we never got a deep retracement. So everything was holding, and we can do the same thing here, you know. If this would have been or should have been the high, for example, we can check again. Is our VWAP here holding into the 382 or a little bit front run, for example, and then we can look for another potential long trade into, yeah, not all too much, 2%, for example. So that is something that we could monitor here together over the next few minutes or hours, depending on how long you want me here. Yeah, don't forget to bump up the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Always helps us a lot, and we can only continue doing those streams here if we get some support from your side. So if you like those streams and if you like what you see, there will be more of it, but we need some likes. So question here for me is, what is happening? You know, are we just grinding on, or do we get a back test eventually? So that would be my preferred scenario. Basically coming back down here, getting into a back test trade, and then around value area low from this range, basically get into a nice short and then take the short back down. That would be nice. Let's quickly check. We can now go into the lower time frame here. As we discussed earlier, for example, we were able to map out our low leverage liquidation levels on the higher time frame, and now we are checking out what is happening with all the people that are getting aggressive too early or too late. You know, everyone that is jumping in with 100xers or 75 or 50xers. Let's see if we can see some changes here with the 10xers. It is really epic, no? Those liquidation levels are so juicy, and the responsiveness of it. I was not used to it. You know, I came from ADAS, another software. It was, yeah, Windows 7. Here we go. Responsiveness is just insane. So What we can see here also is, okay, 100xers don't add all too much. 75ers, yeah, there is a few people eventually to be stopped. I will keep those on, and the 10ers not for now. So let's see. Liquidity also here below this equal low here. It is not 100% equal, not the perfect thing on Bitcoin. Sometimes we get those really juicy ones. So really interesting to see that this one would also fit well together, like for all the people that jumped in here now opening 100xers or higher leverage positions, they would also be stopped out with all our missing 5 or 10xers. So really important. Don't get overly excited yet. We still have some way to go. And how does it look to the upside? So if we zoom out a little bit, we can see here we already got some liquidations going, and here 5, 6, there is something else. 3, 4, 4, 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Quickly have a look here, just doing some trend line just to understand where we are here. Okay, just to keep it in mind. For now, nothing really juicy. We stopped out a lot of shorts already, and all the longs on the way down here. So you can also see here on the lower time frame quite some nice liquidations. And then yesterday was just a perfect day. No, we were here looking at it inside the Discord, and you could hear the liquidations, like the sound of freedom here on the right. Orders coming in, beep beep beep. I hope you can hear it too here. And was really beautiful. So let's see if we start squeezing. So there's another scenario, you know, like we were discussing. Let's come up here, come back to the value area low, and see if we can get into a backtest short here, for example, if we don't reclaim it. But the other scenario is we get the squeeze. So everyone that shorted here along the way, there is a fair amount of people that open shorts here on this drop, also to push us down. So we definitely have a chance to squeeze everyone up, maybe to the point of control, who knows. And then for sure, what do we do on the higher time frame? You know, is this becoming a channel? Is this becoming like easy stuff? You know, like this is easy stuff. We can monitor then here, for example, what is happening here. Are we getting this play out, come back down here? Who knows? I will not entertain that for now. I will go back to the heat maps, have a little look here on the trade that we did so far inside the academy today with our VWAP backtest, and then come into the lower time frame first. Let's have a look here. What is going on locally? We have any crazy orders? Let me make this a little bit bigger for you, and let's have some more fun on the lower time frame quickly and see what is happening here. I think some really interesting moves here this afternoon. If we go even lower, where we had some walls that were suppressing us down. Let me see if I can find those and if I can take them out for you so you have an idea what I'm talking about. So let's quickly see where they are here, for example. Really nice pattern. Now, like if we look at it like this, you can see there was quite some block of orders here, and then sometimes we see this basically trying to hold us down. So consistently, you know, orders being put in here, and we are quite a wide range. And then as soon as they are cancelled and taken out, we get the move to the upside. So really nice. Always watch out for those patterns. Really nice to see. And we still have something up here, 104. This would definitely coincide with our value area low that we got. Yeah, welcome everyone else. Hope you had a good start of the week and did not get liquidated like everyone else that we mentioned earlier. If you have any questions, drop them anytime, anywhere, and feedback is always welcome. There is still a 25% lifetime discount going on. So if you go to the MMT website, for example, jump into Academy, you will see what you get with it. Basically 4 or 5, maybe also 6 live sessions, and it is all 25%. So it costs you not even what, $200 something right now. So really juicy for the whole year, you know, and you get educational content here too. Also some nice insights from Krolik on how he traded the low, for example, or previous lows, and then going over how those trades played out and what you can do in terms of order flow or heat maps or liquidations to see those things live in time. So really trying to help you out here with the educational part of things too, as there is a lot to learn when it comes to heat maps. It is a juicy thing, and we will see how it plays out. Maybe we get to this level here, and then we will see and can monitor together if it is being filled or not. Let me see. Michael, your liquidation panel, is that aggregated, and are the liquidations in Bitcoin or USD? Gary, sail me baby. Oh yeah, I got some nice sailors here too. Really appreciate it. For everyone that doesn't know, I'm living on a sailboat for the last 7 years. Been traveling and trading around the world, basically 2 years in a Met, then did an Atlantic crossing, stayed in the Caribbean for 3 years, 4 years, went up to New York, back down the East Coast, and then to Panama. And then this year I sailed from Chile to Maine, and yeah, currently I'm in Italy, and we are working on the house that we bought a year ago. And as soon as that's ready, I think in May, I will be back on the sea. So can't wait to get back. Winter is coming and came already here. Mountains are already quite snowy. Let me get back to Gary. Liquidation panel, is it aggregated? Liquidation panel is here. So let's toggle this one. So we come back to our tabs. This one is here under advanced settings, not yet aggregated. And you can choose it for every exchange on your own. You can choose what leverage you want to see. For example, you can also customize the ticks. You know, how fine do you want it to be, how granular you want it, and then also the color scale. So similar to the normal heat maps. And then you can swap through the different exchanges pretty easily and really, really smoothly. So here, for example, we are just on another one, you know, and you can see how is it going over there. It's also really important to see those a little bit individually, in my opinion, because levels are not the same on all exchanges. So let's quickly have a look here. 45 coming in. Would it be cool if your volume were a bit higher? My volume, I can come closer to the microphone. I hope that is good. I can also pump it up a little bit. The live leaks behind your head. Oh, those are here aggregated. Really, really nice. So you hear the sounds. Gary, let me know if you hear those. I think we got a few. I can pump it up eventually. But they are aggregated and you can choose whatever you want. And then you can also see here the exchange, basically, where was it, Binance or whatever, and then the amount. And you can choose here between coin or US dollar. How smooth is that? You know, like it does not have to reload, it doesn't have to do anything. And the same goes for here. You know, if we zoom in here on the heat maps, for example, US dollars or coin, you know, like if you're a little bit of a tech nerd and you're like, oh man, how smooth is it? Coin, US dollar, nothing is reloading, everything is there. I'm just like, this is like porn. Anyhow, we should not say certain words on the streams. You hear it, awesome. Are you going to be sharing your templates to the community section? Yes, templates are in, and also after the live streams, all the members and the students in the academy will get access to the chart. So if I draw something out here, for example, I will save it. It will be shared inside the Discord, and then you can load it up and you can continue that way. So really smooth, way. You don't have to draw it out yourself. You can monitor it with us, and you can monitor it live, and you will get all my tabs here with everything, like this one here where we monitor our anchored VWeb, and then this one here where we monitor anchored VPVR. Really smooth here, also launched a few days ago, where we can basically aggregate those based on whatever we want to see. And then everything that is visible here, this one is still a juicy note here to the upside with no volume, but everything that is visible here basically will be aggregated here on the volume profile on the side. So we can see spikes. For example, where are our last volume spikes? Here to the downside, biggest one, 101,500. And then if we come back here, 101,600, 500 would be a volume spike that would be in line here. Let me quickly remove the trend line, so it isn't in our way. Again, not yet finished here, not yet finished impulse. So this is still, variable. We have to see how it goes. Do we get aggression anywhere? Do we get a spike in volume? And only then can we validly pull another fib, and then we will see if we come back and are getting it. Also here, there is a bit of increase in volume here. Not the craziest amount yet, nothing that I will short yet. Also, we did not come up here to our value area low on the higher time frame. So this is the crucial level here. So if we zoom in here, we can see that there is still a little bit to go, 0.5, not the worst. And we can also have a look at it here. So let's check out hit the likes. Yes, Jam. On Footprint, can we set it to show dollar? Yes, coin or US dollar. And then we can also, if we are here, for example, I am normally always on dollar because I just understand it easier than recalculating how many hundreds of Bitcoins are, but it depends on your preference. The good thing is we can swap it very easily, and then we can change the grading and everything, how we like it. Colors, you can have it red and green and whatever you prefer. I want to have less noise, less info as possible. Nothing should distract me from the actual data. So that's why I have everything a little bit neutral here, and then we see if something pops out here. I think yesterday at the low we got some nice aggression, so that is something that we always need to have a look out. And then as soon as we see some negative delta, for example, or some bigger orders opening up, that is always interesting. Here, for example, longs are coming in, trying to push us up, and we come again eventually back. But also interesting, like if we, I think it is pretty much the area, like if we are looking at this one here, how and where did we bounce again afterwards? This is just, look at this, magic. We come back into this region exactly here where those big longs came in already, and they try to defend the low, and then we go again at it. So really, really smooth here with TA. Let me check. How are we doing? How are the likes, ladies and gentlemen? The most calm trader I have seen in my life. Oh man, you just need to meditate a lot and go sailing. Sailing helps for everything, I tell you. Matteo Cura, legend. Really love to see you again, my friend, and have you in the Discord. A lot of valuable insights shared by him and in general by the community. So if you're not aware, always check out the Discord here on MMT. Really nice. Lots going also in the free section with a lot of insights shared by traders, and a lot in the coaches and the academy section with setups, educational trades on how to trade or how trades were taken, for example, here by Krolik. And today, the first video on how to read and trade from liquidation heat maps. For everyone that joined a little bit later here, what are we watching right now? I will still be here a while. Let's see how long it goes. And if we get some aggression in here, we could take a live paper trade here together. on stream if we get some aggression on the value area low. So the idea is basically we had this upper range, now we are back here in this previous range, so we have combined everything here on the monthly TPO, and we can see that the value area low is not reclaimed yet. So higher time frame action, if this is a good low, for example, if we are to see higher prices, we need to reclaim the value area low first. So this is the next crucial level on the higher time frame, and that's how I see it always. You know, you always need to go out, see it from a distance, and then check out what is going on locally. We are still continuing upwards, as we said in the beginning of the stream. So we are still running higher. We still see that there is some orders putting into the book. Here we are with 69 million. It's not all too much compared to here earlier, where we can see that basically people putting lots of orders in there, and then as soon as we come up there, they are being pulled and not filled. So chickened out and trying to place them. It's not the same thing here, but more or less we can see here, for example, this is all the same, you know, 225, 224, and then it's being pulled. Same guy here, 225. Where is it? We had it on 225 before, more or less. Yeah, it is more or less the same. And then here now we are still at 60. So nothing too crucial yet. But I would also expect this one here to push up higher a little bit. Matjok is absolute boss. I agree. Very nice. So epic tools, epic liquidity, and some nice liquidation sounds. So far, nothing too crazy. I wanted to see a squeeze earlier once we came up here, and so far we got it. There was quite some alerts going off and some beeping, but not as much as yesterday for sure. After we dropped, what was it, quite a bit, I think 5%, and overall nice 10% drop here from those highs. So we are still trying to see if we can catch a trade in either direction here. Either we come back down and get into our VWAP. If we don't, if we just trend, and if you're not in a long, like we're in a long from here, the idea that we discussed inside the academy earlier. So really nice, juicy move so far, 2.2%. And if we don't get a retracement, which might be, you know, like if we get a runaway and if we just get some trending action, there is no need to jump into anything. I will not long here, like I can't. I simply can't. I have to wait, and sometimes we wait forever. There's another spike of volume up here. This was all trending, you know, so for sure, how can we look at it differently? We can also look at it like this here on the, where are we? I don't know. This is not the nicest thing to do yet, but we will see. We can do the same thing that we do upwards, you know, we can just see where are our next areas of resistance. We will hide this one, put this one to the right, don't show the prices. And if we look at it like this here, for example, we could also argue if we are not to reclaim, it does not matter all too much. I think if we zoom out a little bit more, let's quickly have a look what and how we could look at it, like in terms of full impulse here. Yeah, this is definitely high, but this is one up and another one down, so definitely more valuable here. And then we can also say, you know, this has to be reclaimed. Let's check out how we are going here with the value area low. If we are still getting another, let's quickly switch over to Binance just to see where we are there. For example, we are getting into it here already. Okay. Let's check out. You see how smooth the switch is here. This one is definitely still a little bit higher overall on the inverse pair, but let's go back to spot. Spot is king, and see if we can get another squeeze. This would all be fitting together with the idea here that we reject here. So basically we have this previous low, We come up here. Let's see if we can get some aggression. If we can get something going here on our footprint charts. And if we can get into an aggressive scalp short. There's some action coming in. Let's quickly have a look here. Okay, there is some longs coming in, so definitely interesting to see how they are trying to push us. There is some positive delta here, and we are coming into our area of interest. So let's see if we can get another little push. So far, there is some longs here supporting us. Let's check out how it looks here. Still further up to go, in my opinion. So I will still wait here. We did not lose anything. We got a nice rise in longs, but it looks like the longs are trying to push us higher. So CVD is rising with the price. Net longs is also rising here. We can also see here that if we zoom in here, for example, longs are here and the price is already pushing through it. We also saw it here earlier. Some longs here, but you see nothing crazy at the highs. Nothing was left behind yet. Let's see, 142 volume, a little bit more volume. If we are breaking up here through the value area low, I will simply not short it. But if we do, then we will have our opportunities for a potential short trade. Let's quickly check what's going on here. So what is the idea basically here? We discussed it quickly, that we get some aggression and that we are rejecting where we are here for a potential short trade and then can take that one lower. So some aggression here, some longs left behind for sure, some spike in positive delta, yes. Overall, not all too much yet. We also did not hear any liquidation sounds or anything crazy. So let's still wait and see if we can manage to come up here. Got a spike in longs here in for sure. We can also see those here. It's really nice if everything matches together, you know, with aggregated data between the footprint charts and everything else. Let me quickly check. Can you analyze ETH? We can have a look at ETH eventually later, yes. And if it's too long, if we don't get anything on Bitcoin, we can just have a look on where ETH is heading next. And it's really simple. We can just switch over and have a look. So far, still getting the push. No short yet for me. And as mentioned earlier, sometimes it's more important to know when not to take a trade. We had a really similar situation here earlier today, where I told everyone I will not take the short yet, and that hopefully helped someone. Here, when we came into our anchored VWAP level, we did not get enough aggression to short it. So similar here, yet to come. So we will see what happens when we come up here. There is a little bit of more orders, not really. We will see on the lower time frame. What is going on? And if you remember well, here we are. Let's come back into this one here quickly. Okay, that's all good. This is still the crucial one here on the lower axis, and we also discussed how we could potentially lose this one here. Again, very high. So the plan would be lose everything here, you know, and leave longs behind here and then continue to the downside. Overall, we are trending the whole day. So what and how should you approach this? Like if you want to take a short here, for example, I think it's not yet the right moment. Let's check quickly live how it looks and how we got 110. Some aggression potentially, some longs piling in. But yeah, if we start losing it, for example, how would I approach the short here? Lower position size. Why? Because we've been trending the whole day. We've been trending up and we got a nice move so far, and we don't need to counter trade a trending day. But if we start losing levels, for example, and you have clear invalidation. Basically, if we were to get some aggressive longs and we were to leave them behind, we can also check something interesting here because everything is aggregated. And then we can also see how is it looking, you know, on Binance, for example. Zero cluster on Binance, some longs. So potential successful auction here at the high. Bybit, how is it looking on Bybit? Same, you know, really, really nice. So you can make your mind up based on aggregated footprint clusters, and it is really helpful. So overall, some positive delta. Crucial to see what happens with those longs here that try to push us higher. If they are lost, potentially can jump into a scalp short and then take it lower. For now, we still have some orders up here, not the biggest amount, but also nothing really to the downside. So that's the next level that I will be watching to the upside here. Let's quickly check how everyone else is doing and where we are with everyone. I hope you had a good start of the week and didn't get wrecked on this nice drop. How are we on X and on YouTube? Hope everyone enjoys the session there. And let's quickly see if everything is still good. Don't forget to drop a like, please, ladies and gentlemen, or a comment. Would really appreciate that. Helps us here to do those streams for you. Still getting a push. Yeah, and also let me know if it's helpful. You know, I try to go over order flow here and everything live with you, but I can also do some TA and just give you some levels. So if you appreciate the style of the session, just let me know. And so far we've been pretty accurate with how price moved. We wanted to see some more upside, and that we got. We looked at this one here earlier, that one we got, and then we will have still an opportunity here to the upside. So if we are getting another squeeze, this is the higher time frame or medium time frame picture here. For now, do we have anything bearish? Not really yet. Potential bearish CVD divs, but let's check out how we are looking. Nothing lost here, so nothing really crucial. Also not the cleanest of 1 minute candles here, so definitely expecting another push and would definitely see another. You can also see here, that's what I did always with those volume filters. Really lovely. What you can see here, for example, is longs aggressive, what I mentioned before, you know, what was it, 48, and then we come back into it and they are trying to defend and we're getting a push. So we will see, do we get another squeeze, and are those longs here really trying to defend? And yeah, I really don't like this high here on the lower time frame, so let's see if we can get that rectified. So let me switch on the sounds again. Maybe we can hear some cascading liquidations very soon here if we get another push. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice to see that Bitcoin is doing what we want. I really love that. Really, really amazing, no? So far here, positive delta, longs opening. We saw it also here, where we got an uptick in net longs, and we are still getting the continuation from that so far, with those longs being support on the lower time frame. Also here, we saw them here coming in, so really nice. Same area with the volume bubbles that showed us some aggression. So now, what next? What next? Nothing lost. Let's quickly check out what is going on here. Overall, open interest is going kind of sideways, not dropping off the cliff fully. Let's zoom out a little bit just to understand better. Yeah, open interest is definitely not rising as much as I would like to see for a strong move. So ideally I want to see CVD going up, open interest going up with the move. Here, juicy levels to the upside on our liquidation heat map, topic that was covered today on an educational video inside the Academy. Let's quickly check out where we get those Oh, this is an interesting one here. For sure, could be a next level. 148 and 15 above those highs. So everyone that jumped into the shorts here basically with aggressive positions has their stop loss somewhere around this region, very likely. So that is something. Yeah, here again, we can see we come back here into a long area. Let's see if it holds, if the longs are strong enough. Negative delta a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And how is it looking here? Some shorts with the negative delta, CVD falling off, but nothing yet. So how would the trade look here? We discussed it earlier. When we are losing levels, we can be aggressive here. So this is basically the simplest trade ever. We got some longs in here. If the longs are not able to push us and we start losing again, we can make our way back down and then for sure take some profits along the way. Very important. We will not just open a trade. For now, we are monitoring here if those longs are actually strong enough, if they can push us higher and maybe get us into our value area low from the higher time frame. And then, like, if we are too short here, the loose of the level, where do we take profit? Here, definitely 1.5, 1.7% drop. And then we have to see, you know, is it bullish overall? Are we holding here? Is the VWAP still trending? Are we still getting a nice push? But don't expect, like, if we start to trend here, if we start to squeeze some shorts, don't expect big retracements. Don't expect that we come back down here. Would be more bearish for me if we were to come down here and then drop out of it. So really, really, really important. Let's see how everyone is doing and what we got. So far we are still going, and yeah, I think all is good, ladies and gentlemen. Still watching this one here. I will keep at it for a little bit longer and then eventually have a quick look on ETH. I don't trade it all too actively, more buy it on spot. Here, very nice. You can see this is the simplest thing, you know, like for sure we might break down eventually because the longs are not strong enough and not interested enough, and they might also get out of their positions. But it's nice to see, you know, we come back, first bounce, come back, second bounce, bounce. This is the area, you know, this is the area that we need to lose. And then if we were to short it, for example, the loss of it, and the same here with the loss of our region here, how would it look like? Stop loss is above this high, really aggressive here. So that's what I mentioned also earlier. If we were to short anything here, we are looking at aggressive scalps because we've been trending the whole day. We don't need to counter trade. We don't need to counter trade the trend, and we would rather prefer to get into a long here. So if we get this retracement down, this is the long area, and then we can continue to push on. Easy as that. Really, really simple. So let's check out ETH quickly. I'll just go over ETH. Where are you? I'll always look at this one here quickly here, making this one a little bit bigger for you. Liquidations, higher time frame liquidations. Is it a similar story that we had on Bitcoin, or is it not? So let's zoom out a little bit more. We can see it is a similar story. For sure, tons of liquidations, around 5K. Everyone that shorted here, basically. There's some liquidations here for sure that we took out. Definitely not as much as on Bitcoin, but still the same pattern more or less. You know, liquidations, took them out, bounce, and then took all of them out, got those, and it actually looks way nicer here. You know, considering how Bitcoin moved and how many liquidations we still have below on the lower time frame, I still think that this one is a way nicer low compared to Bitcoin. So if we were to get another squeeze here, I would definitely favoring it here on the ETH pair versus on Bitcoin, definitely. So lower time frame on ETH quickly, going into our higher time frame liquidations. Just have a look. And we still have something to clear up here for sure. Juicy level below this low. That would stop out everyone. And then I think this one would coincide with the high that we discussed earlier on Bitcoin. So quickly checking here. This one is still going. Our level is still holding. So let me switch to ETH here for a moment too. And then we will see how is it looking in the books for Ethereum. One of my first altcoins. I really liked it. If it ever comes back to 8 euros, I will buy it again. Long time, my friend, long time. Yeah, nothing really crazy here now. Let's zoom out a little bit. We can also toggle HD or SD. The SD quality is still better than most other portals or softwares out there. So that is something to keep in mind. And there is some juicy orders below us. They are quite minimal though, so I think we got everything on here. Let me check, and we need to aggregate those to have it reload. Yeah, still pretty minimal overall, but it is also ETH and not Bitcoin, so definitely lower volume. CVD dropping, potentially bullish, same as on Bitcoin. Open interest, did we check it earlier? Open interest is actually rising. ETH definitely looks better, no? Who else agrees? Like, we don't have a double low or equal lows. We have CVD rising, we have open interest rising. We took out all the liquidations, so in my opinion, ETH definitely showing us the way, and would love to see a little bit higher there. Do I have any juicy levels on ETH? Not really. Not really yet. Let me have a look. I will do some more TA inside the Academy for you and then share it there. But yeah, I'll jump back to Bitcoin here quickly. Oh, here we are, just to be sure that we did not miss anything here. Main focus here today was Bitcoin and seeing if we can catch a trade together. And so far, we did not get the proper reaction. We are still looking at some aggression here to the upside. Let's go back into our lower time frame. Then we can see it clearer. But you can also see here that the orders were already removed. Some more are coming in, but it was also leading our way. You know, like we said before, we can see where price might go next. When we were already, I think we started the stream around here. I told you I want to see those here filled. We come back up, they were removed, and we crush through it. And then the same thing here, you know, we have those limits here. And if they were removed, we can just go higher, and there's not much in the way. For now, we took out, no, we did not take out anything. We did not take out anything. Did we get any aggression? Some more longs here, order flow wise. Some more longs here too. Yeah, CVD is dropping, nothing too crazy, nothing too bearish yet. Yeah, how is everyone else doing? Don't forget to drop a like, please. Always appreciate that. Or a comment, really nice of you. Or reshare it on X or on YouTube, wherever you are watching. Glad that you managed to join here. Today, Academy is still open for a 25% lifetime discount. If you want to see what's going on, you can always head over to our Discord or to the website and have a look here. So really juicy content joined today also with Krolik that joined our team, and he will go over a lot of educational content. So really excited. Today he covered liquidation heat maps that we were discussing here throughout the whole stream. So really important, really juicy one, lots to learn, and also showing us the way to our area down here. If we come back down there, for now, we are still grinding through. We are still trying to get all those juicy liquidations in. And I think that's it here from my side. So what is it we discussed? I will sum it up for everyone. Really important, monitor the higher time frame value area. What is happening here? Are we getting for the scenario upside, backtest, long potential, or are we getting for the scenario backtest, short, and then down? You know, this is the main two things here on the higher time frame. Bitcoin still has tons of liquidations to the downside, and everything would collide pretty well with us coming back to 96k. So I would really appreciate another drop to those levels here to hit the native TPO point of control that we have around 96k. Really juicy. For now we are trending, so no short yet, nothing really that we can counter trade, and that is something that we have to consider. So all the shorts that we are doing are aggressive trades as of now. We are also over at the lows, so we don't want to short aggressively. We don't want to jump in all too crazily, you know, and we prefer to trade with the trend. So we wait for a retracement here into the VWAP area, for example, and then get into another push to the upside. So that all depends on what is happening here. Are we starting to lose levels here? We mapped out our volume bubbles earlier with the longs that came in here and that we back tested, and you can see how well this one played out. We mentioned it before. I want to see this one hold and then push up higher. So far playing out very well. There were some beeps coming in, so there is some action. Let me switch that one back here quickly. We took out this high. There is some longs that came in here. Checking here quickly. 33, 4 million. Could this be a nice high? It is definitely a low volume high, and we did not lose anything yet, but I will check it out. Nice, we rectified those $1 1 minute candles. So the short plan is still the same. If we start losing levels here, stop loss is above the high locally, and then we can watch and see if this idea here plays out basically like this. So here now a nice little mini swing failure of this high. And that's everything. You know, if we start losing levels, I would like to see at least a 1.7% move down and then come back into our 382 or front run it like we've done before. Eventually get to the VWAP and then look for a long there. But yeah, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the session. I might do another one very soon. And in the meantime, join our Discord. A lot of free stuff and a lot of helpful information. Really nice community with tons of traders in there. A lot of experts. I love it so far. Really happy with the community. So very nice to have found a new home there. So I will all catch you very soon. Inside the Discord, we have a nice session tomorrow with Netzo going live for New York close. So keep that in mind. He will be streaming everything. So let's see if we can leave those up here and we can get our level loss trade basically back into this region. And that's it. Give me a shout if you took something from this session or if you managed to catch a trade here with us eventually. Would be really nice. And I will catch you all very soon. So thanks for having me, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one. Cheers and goodbye.